Sorry for that. Let me just check again. Hopefully now we are in the group. Okay, cool. It looks like now we're in there, even though it's under guy's name, but that's okay. um, Alex or whoever was with me before, if you guys can just let me know that it is actually showing up in the group now, that would be great. I actually see it in there, but just give me a heads up. Let me know that you guys are, if you're watching this. Okay, perfect. Alex, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for always looking out for us. Yeah, so again, if you're joining us, I wanted to offer a fully open live Q&A. We have about 50 minutes thereabouts that we can be together. So you want to ask me a question about something that's happening in your life, you want to get some feedback about that, you want to ask me something about anything that's happening around our work, things that have kept you from maybe participating, where you're stuck, whatever it is, I'm happy to answer any and all questions. I don't have any topics pre-rehearsed, so you guys get to really choose where this conversation gets to go. So I'm all ears. I'm going to drink my shake and give you guys a few minutes here to maybe type some questions in. It can be big, it can be small. We will hopefully cover them all. Ha, I rhymed. I did a Dr. Seuss thing right there for you guys. All right, cool. I see we have a bunch of people. We got Natalie with us, and Alexandra, and Alex, and Jasmine, as always, one of our team members here to support you in anything that you guys need. We have Janine again, Natalie Woodcock, welcome back. Sarah Jean, good to see you as always. Facebook user, hey everyone, not sure who that is. And Abby here as well. Okay, so we're waiting for questions. And yeah, we'll do that as soon as we can. Okay. So Natalie looks like the first person here. So let me just read this up. I'm going to put this up so we can all read this together. And Natalie says, I do awareness practices to sit with sensations in the body. I really want to experience higher levels of awareness. My question is it time and practice that allows for higher levels or a variety of different practices? What a great question. Beautiful. I love it. Okay. So you're going to hear us say this a lot. Rather than this or that, I'm going to say it's this and that. Because if you ask me over the last, 5-6 years that I've really delved deep into the work of energetics, practices that I did 5 years ago, some of them I don't do. Practices that I started maybe 3 months ago, I didn't do before. So I think in the beginning, what I noticed made the biggest difference is consistency more than anything else. And like, even my coach says this to me all the time. He's like, you committed about my practices. And, like for those of you, and Natalie, I'm speaking to you, but for those of you that haven't been to our live events, even at our live events before the emotional intelligence mastery level 1, 2, or 3 programs that we offer, even at the live event, we're going to give you a bunch of practices. And even if you were just to do those practices, your life would begin to expand. And so there's a dedication that one must have. And that's true for anything. I was talking to someone earlier who happened to be a basketball coach. And one of the things I asked him was this. I was like, if you're coaching kids on a basketball team and you have a kid that shows up to one practice a week and then the game, how good is he going to be? Right? Like you have one practice a week and one game. And it's the same thing for people in our coaching programs. Like if you come to our live events, listen, you can take the practices, do something with them, not take the practice, whatever. Listen, it's up to you, right? But if you've stepped up and now you've committed to be in our coaching programs, whether it's a 6-week program, a 3-month program, a year-long program, a 2-year whatever it is, right? And all you do is you show up to the one group call and the one-on-one call and then expect your life to somehow miraculously shift. I call them all out. It's just not going to happen. The consistency of practice is what's going to make the biggest impact in your life. You can't expect to show up once every month and whatever to one of our live events. And like, even if you've been there 10 times, it doesn't matter. Because this work is about what you do in between. So for me, what's kind of happened is like, as I've delved deeper and deeper into consistent practices, a new practice always kind of shows itself to me. I don't have to like go looking for it. It just kind of like always comes into my field of awareness. And then I try a practice. And a lot of the times what I've given up is that I do a practice for some sort of result. I don't do the practice for a result. I don't have a delusion that if I sit in meditation for a week, like my life's supposed to look XYZ. I just sit in meditation and I just keep watching as my awareness expands. And in the expanded awareness, I just start to recognize all of these incredible things that just keep showing up. Some are incredibly pleasant. Some are incredibly not pleasant. But my ability to feel the incredibly not pleasant and still be able to hold ground while I'm watching this whole thing happen is fucking fascinating to me. Because I'm not trying to avoid it. I'm not trying to run away from it. I'm not trying to make it go away. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm just simply there watching it. And in the watching, that is the gift, right? Like the practice becomes the gift. And when you can get yourself to this place of like, I do the practice, guys, like if I tell you how much work I do every single day to keep enhancing what is happening inside, most of you be like, that's not fucking possible. And I do it like less than some of my mentors do it, right? Because I just have a certain life structure. Like I got kids, I got a wife, I got work, I got all of it, right? Hobbies. But I haven't missed a day of meditation in, I mean, let's go to the videotape. And this is not counting a year. I've started tracking Insight Timer a while back. I'm up to 1,660 days tracked on Insight Timer. Hey, Google, what's 1,660 days in years? That's 4.5, almost 4.6 calendar years. And that's not tracking the year before that. So literally every day, okay? That happens. And that means that usually I do like a morning meditation, a night meditation. Sometimes I'm doing an afternoon meditation. I have throughout my week at minimum 3 minis that are scheduled every single week. I have throughout my week different body practices that I do, whether it's stretch practices, sitting in a sauna and doing a body scan meditation. I have trainings and sessions that I give. I have training sessions that I receive. Like you can see, because that's how dedicated I am to my life. And again, I don't do it because there's some intention of like, if I do this, I'm going to feel this. No, I don't even care anymore. I'm not even interested. Like, there's no agenda. I just do it. I mean, I started a meditation practice recently, like in the last 3 months, doing something different. And honestly, when I first did it, after all these years of meditation, when I did it, I was like, I couldn't feel a thing. Like, it didn't even make sense, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm just so grateful because I know I can see what it's doing to prime my system to be able to receive energetic work. So, Natalie, to give you the kind of like bow on this is, for me, these practices, all they do is just keep opening my system. And there's this energetic field that as your system keeps opening up more and more and more, you can receive more and more and more, meaning like you can receive more support, you can receive more love, more connection, more healing. And it's the daily practices that allow your system to open and feel safe to receive all that. So I hope that answers that. And if you have any follow-up, please feel free. Okay. Libby asks, can you discuss the levels of your work, level 1, 2, and 3, what are they each about? Absolutely. I think that's a wonderful question. Give me 1 second. I've just been back to back to back calls, so I haven't even had time to eat. So that is my liquid lunch. Okay. So starting from the top, we have the main door into kind of our ascension model is obviously the Intuitive Mind live event. So that's the one that's happening this weekend. By the way, I didn't mention this is the last one of the year. So you missed this one, you're out till 2022. Okay. That's usually where people can come experience this work for 2 days. And then from there, just kind of choose, I love this work. I love being around this energy. And what I tell people is this: the reason we do the live events for as cheap as we do them, even though we should probably be charging 3 times the amount for the value that they are, for us, these live events are kind of like a tuning fork. Okay. There's a frequency that is imbued or transmitted, I should say, in the world of Satori Prime, right? Like the Old Souls and Seekers group is the world that the community that we've built. And there's a transmission that is happening. Now, it's not my transmission. It's not Guy transmission. It's simply that we've been able to open our systems to allow for this energy and this field to come through. Those that come and sit with us in these 2-day events and begin to taste that transmission, this transmission is like a beacon, like a tuning fork, right? You know, when like 2 tuning forks are hit and they kind of like resonate at the same frequency, they make that sound. So this live event is very similar to that. It's like when you're in it, it's such a resounding vibrational yes. The field calls you to this work. It's not Elon, it's not Guy, it's not our marketing, it's not our team, it's none of it. It's just simply like, you just know, like, yes, I'm supposed to be here because my healing and my path has brought me here, right? And then so that's step 1. And then from there, we really go into the ascension model. And so we break it up into level 1, 2, and 3. There's also level 4, but we don't even discuss that. Level 1, 2, and 3. So level 1, what we realized is that this energetic work works only when you have the foundation of mindset, because your mind has no access to what's happening down here. It doesn't want you to go in here. It is the reason that when you feel discomfort in your body, your mind tells you, oh, go get that drink. Oh, go take that hit. Oh, go give me that pill. Oh, go exercise. Oh, go run. Oh, go eat. It will do anything to try to numb this down here, right? It has no interest in going down here. So level 1 is we want to get a great understanding of how this has kept us out of this. And so for the first 6 weeks, you will work with us through 6 specific modules that are going to help you move this out of the way so you can begin to start to do the energetic work. So what that looks like is there's 6 modules. In addition to the 6 modules, there's 6 live coaching calls that you'll get, and then you work through that process. Now, in addition, for anyone that joins level 1, if you know you want to do, we call it Mindset Mastery. If you go and do that path, it's $200 more than the event ticket. And for those $200, you get 6 modules plus 6 weeks of live coaching plus 3 bonus calls plus this whole other program of mindset immersion. Like, I hate to call people stupid, but like, it is stupid not to just buy the live event ticket and not do that program. Like, it's just separate the 6 coaching sessions by $200. For $30 extra, you get a coaching session. Like, who's gonna give you a coaching session for $30? Okay, so that's level 1. Level 2 is now we're looking at self-to-self healing. So once we get the mind out of the way, now we want to start dropping in, because no healing work happens in the mind. None, 0. You've tried, right? How many of you guys have healed yourself through mind? Healing doesn't happen in mind. Healing happens with no mind. So now we spend 3 months looking at self-to-self healing practices. How do you begin to actually allow your awareness to drop in while in connection to other or in connection to group and actually receive this energetic healing field, open system, so that you can actually allow your system to down-regulate from this fight or flight response that it always has, whether it's you're an overachiever and you're constantly trying to prove something out there, whether you're hurt from abandonment and making sure that no one, will ever leave you again, whether you're a person who's not good enough or never gets anything right, or in my case, a loser, like whatever that thing is, understanding it doesn't heal it. Maybe puts a nice Band-Aid on it so you can keep going, but it's going to keep coming back. So the first 3 months, we're really looking at self-to-self. Now, what happens is people open up and start having incredible results happen in their lives, like things that are so unbelievable to the mind because it's never been witness to this work. And then at some point, you begin to realize, like, I'm very interested in actually sharing this with my family, sharing this with people at work. And I don't mean sharing it like, have you guys heard of this Satori Prime? Like, I don't mean like that, although that is nice and we love and appreciate when you do share it with your family and friends. I mean more from like an energetic attunement place. Being able to stabilize certain frequencies inside of here, like ground and safety and well-being, and then being able to walk into your home and actually have that frequency permeate your children, your spouses, going to work, and seeing how this energy just starts to impact others. And so in level 3, we now shift out of self to self, and we bring the same energetic alignment, but now we're looking at self to other. I started this work and my coach said, what is it that you want most in life? I said, I want to be able to walk into a room, not say a goddamn word, sit in that room, and have the people in that room's lives never be the same. Like, be absolutely unimaginably transformed. And that's what I've been working on. It's not about the words. It's not about the concepts. It's not about even the feelings at level 3. At level 3, it's you become the transmission. You become that healing light that you've wanted to be for yourself. Now you get to be it for others. So at each level, right, we're expanding on the part. So, and it's almost like, if you think about it, you can almost think about the 3 levels of like levels of mind, right? Level of mind at level 1 is here. Then level of mind, we shift awareness and now we're here. And then level 3, we are now here. So you can kind of see that natural progression. It's like, this is where people live. We get them out of there. Then we drop them into here. And now you start to do this incredible healing stuff. And then once that happens, now you're expanded out there. Okay. So Libby, I hope that answers your question. If you have any follow-up or anything that you want clarification on, anything else that I said, please, please, please let me know. Alex says, I haven't gotten there yet. I still freak out when I get the unpleasant experiences. And you can see, like, even in Alex, that takes time, just, again, I've been doing personal development. I've been in the space for 20 years, right? It took me 15 years because I'm stubborn, very stubborn. It took me 15 years to realize that more books and more information and more understanding and more concepts and more distinctions were not going to get me where I wanted to get to. But I really held fast to that notion because I'd invested so much time, so much money, and so much energy on that path that I was like, even admitting to myself that that was no longer the path, you can feel like there's like a little bit of a fuck, right? Like, ugh. So that took courage to go, okay, listen. And that, again, it is not to take away from any of that work. That work is crucial. You can't do any of this other stuff if you don't have that. That's why we have level 1. And it's not the end all be all. Like, that's what there is to get, we all get to learn new skills. Daily practices. I can tell you more about my daily practices. Let me see if there's any other questions. Yeah. So Lisa's saying that that's the hard part for me. I'm trying to get over feeling like I should be accomplishing something. Again, just notice that you're noticing that there's this part of you that wants to accomplish. Like, even that noticing is awareness starting to become aware of itself. Just let that sink in. Like, prior to doing this work, you weren't even aware that you had this part and feeling that's constantly driving your entire life plan. Okay. So even that, like, it's not about getting to some place or having this experience or any of that. It's just little shifts, little subtle shifts that get to move the entire landscape of your life as you just continue to do them. And please don't compare yourself to what Elon does. You get to discover what feels good for you. Baby steps. Exactly. Like, even for me, I've so many different pathways and so many different things. By the way, just so you guys know, like, I work with a mentor who's been doing this work for over 10 years. And then I have other trainers that have been doing this work for 25 years. I've worked with Rinpoches, who are people that literally sit in caves in the Himalayas and have been meditating for the last 50 years. Like, people who have reincarnated as, like, those are my teachers. Do you think my mind doesn't go to comparing where I'm at to where these people are at? Like, obviously it does. And I'm aware that it's not me doing the comparing. It's just apart that incessantly out there constantly compare, whether I'm playing tennis or whether I'm driving my car and this person's driving that car, or I'm building a house and that person's building a bigger house, or I've bought this couch, but this person can buy this couch. Like, guys, it is incessant. If you're under the delusion that at some point it's going to go away because you're going to do these practices and you're going to get to this place where everything is going to go like, ha, it's not. It ain't coming. Maybe for a moment. Your husbands and wives, your mothers and fathers, your workers or entrepreneurs or business people, you have bodies that for the most part you've probably mistreated for decades. Like, we're human. All of this is the human experience. There's no code. There's no piece of information out there that you're going to do and it's all going to like magically work out. And even in the moments that you do get into flow and like things are moving, to be in the delusion that that's how life is always going to be. Like, notice that there's this like wishful, hopeful thinking that somehow I'm going to do enough work and everything's going to, no. I've been doing this shit for 20 years. Not shit. I've been doing this amazing work for 20 years. Like, stuff has always happened. Stuff continues to happen. The shift is that I have tools and capacities to be with everything that is happening, both in my life, in my household, in my work, in my community, in my state, in my country, in my world, where I can be with all those layers and it not knock me off. Like, I can still stay in a grounded, balanced state while noticing all this stuff. And that's probably the biggest difference between me and you, is you want to get to this place. But I would offer that most of you are not willing to do the work that it takes to get to this place. Because deep down inside, you're still looking for a shortcut. Just let that sink in for a second. Like, notice that you are wanting to weasel your way out of where you are right now, find a magical door that's going to make all this stuff go away. Does that resonate? So I hate to burst your bubble, but there's no magical door. There are a lot of doors, like lots and lots and lots of doors. To be able to find depths of yourselves and a remembrance of who you actually are. And those glimpses will take your breath away. And it will be a glimpse. And this work makes the glimpses longer and longer and longer and longer and longer till eventually you can stabilize these glimpses and you can walk through life, eyes open, doing and being in life from these states. For now, even a taste of one of these states would be a magical experience for you. And if you can do it once, you can do it forever. The difference is, will you put in practices that will allow you to glimpse these things and begin to stabilize these things on an ongoing basis? Because a glimpse, as wonderful as it is just that, a glimpse. It is fleeting and it does not stay. It's like doing one sit-up and being like, why don't I have six-pack abs yet? Oh, they told me I need to do multiple sit-ups. Okay, so I'll do 10 sit-ups twice a week. Okay, getting better, right? If you did 10 sit-ups every single day, you tell me in a year you won't have maybe you won't have six-pack abs because I don't know about your diet, but you're telling me you won't have a stronger core if you did just simply 10 sit-ups or 10 push-ups every single day, you can't even argue with that. I don't care. You could do all these other shitty things in your life, but if you just did that, your life would be different. And that's kind of how this is. It's just energetic hygiene instead of just, instead of a workout gym, it's like a work in soul gym. Beta, alpha. So Natalie's saying, in responses types, do you recommend going to beta, alpha, theta? I know it's better not to have a goal, but I really want to connect more to the divine. I'm also praying. I actually don't focus on any of the brain wave things. For me, I was saying this to my coaches earlier today, like my new understanding, okay, is this. I sit in meditation to open my awareness as much as possible. And if you can imagine that, like when you take a DSLR, they have these lens, like a capture lens, almost like a 35 millimeter film would, right? And when you start this work, it's like a pixel. Like you have enough where you can, through awareness, you can take a pixel of information. And where my game has shifted to is I want to open up this card so I can receive more and more and more data and experience from my present state moment. So it's like sitting down, and now, whereas before is I can only really focus on one thing at a time. Now I can notice the breath going in and out of my body. I can notice what my skin feels like outside, like on my skin, what it feels like 4 inches from my skin, what it feels like inside my body. I can feel time. I can smell air. I can taste things in my mouth. My awareness is expanding to all of it, like the front, the behind, the sides, the down, the up of me. All of it. And in that expanded awareness, what I'm beginning to sense is doorways into healing that I never dreamed possible. Like truly never dreamed possible. And then that, right, we always talk about it's not about the action, it's about the energy behind the action. And then that stabilized energy is now the energy behind every one of your actions. If your action is steeped in with the energy of I need to fix this or I need to get rid of this, then in that present moment, you're in an argument and in a fight with that which is. Meaning you're either in a lack conversation, you're in a fear conversation, you're in an overwhelm conversation, you're in a stress conversation, right? Whatever that is. And then that is the energy that you are taking that action with. What is, if you were to take action from that energy, what is it going to create more of in your life? Whatever the energy of the action is what is going to be created in your life. Period. End of story. You're not going to energetically change the tune of your life if you're constantly coming from lack and fear and scarcity to all of a sudden waking up one day and going, oh my God, look at all this abundance in my life. Sorry, Charlie, not happening. That's what takes work, right? You keep taking actions from those places, those broken, hurt, upset, stressed out places. And so it is no wonder that your life keeps showing up the same exact way. Very few people want to go in. In is scary. And in is more scary because you've been trying to do in by yourself. And in by yourself, because we have this thing called the mind, is terrifying. Here, You don't have to do in by yourself. In fact, we encourage people not to do in by yourself because it'll leave you upset. In, you can tap into easily when you're sitting with someone who's done the work, that can give you clear reflection, that can hold you and your parts and your upsets and your fears in such a safe place that it naturally dissipates. It's kind of what we do here, right? Like, we give you that safe place that you can tap into. Yeah, so Natalie's saying I'm really struggling to take part in the mini. It's scary connecting with people and I'm avoiding it. Yeah, right? It's like, that's what you're being aware of. It's like that, having been shut down, that connection with others is safe. Like, think about this. You're a human, and Natalie, this is not knocking you in any way. It's like, we're humans. What we most want is connection, and what we most fear is connection. Try to figure that one out. So Natalie is in this place where she's looking for an answer. And notice there's in that question, right? I'm really struggling to take part in the mini. It's scary connecting with people and I'm avoiding it. So she's aware of all of this beautifully, like beautifully aware of all the parts that are afraid. Any idea how to overcome this? Or is it a part to sit with? Right? So notice like the question. And by the way, that is the perfect example of any problem that any one of you or any of us have in life, right? It's like, I'm struggling with this. How do I do it? How do I overcome? How do I fix? How do I make it go away? And the answer is not the one that you want to hear because it's so simple and you know it already. Like, I don't need to give you this answer. Natalie, you already know the answer. You know exactly what the answer is. And when I tell you, you're going to be like, yeah, I know, and I still can't do it. And the answer is sit in a mini. Be uncomfortable. Sit super uncomfortably in a mini. You know, when people are afraid to do public speaking, you know what they make them do? Go in front of people and public speak. Guys, there's no magical way that you're going to like get to this place where all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know what? Now I can. No, because like there's no wiring or programming that will allow for that. The way to do it is put yourself in those situations and be with the part that's freaking the fuck out. And sitting in connection with another while having that part be witnessed by another and going into your freak out, that's the medicine. That's actually how you begin to shift and open your system to receive more of that support. Sitting on the sidelines and waiting for this time where you're going to like show up and be like, all right, I'm ready. I'm telling you right now, ain't going to happen. And the reason I tell people is schedule them out in advance and have them in your calendar and just show up is because you will not ask for it when you need it. You don't know how. Support has never been available. Connection has never been available. It's always been scary. And so you're just not going to ask. That's kind of what happens. I came back and it wasn't for me. It was to give space and listen and ask questions. And there's so much that was revealed. I feel I was in a comfort zone and tried a victim, hero, and villain and being the villain. Not because I asked the tough questions and for growth. Any advice in this area? I'm not sure what the question there was, Sarah. Yeah, if you could just clarify like a more specific question. I'm understanding how to become the observer for all of that crap that swirls. Yeah, beautiful. So relate to Natalie. I was the same. There were parts showing up that felt way too scary to be with on my own, though. And that was what eventually got me to the mini train. They're now part of my daily practice and provide so much medicine to my system. Yeah. Yeah. Alex was exactly the same place, right? It's like, you just got to get on the court, guys. Like you can't score points from the bench. Like that's how it is. It's silly to find an easier magical way. Learning this isn't hard. It's getting out of the way. 100%. 100%, Lisa. Like, I'm going to put that up because that is just so accurate. But I lied and everyone else is, and we didn't even know. Tubman's beautiful. I'm being sucked into this shit. Yes, up the practices always. Like, I put it this way. Here's my guarantee. I've never met a single person, not one, and I have worked with thousands, if not tens of thousands, not one, okay, that has done these practices consistently that hasn't produced results. Now, the time frame of, is it a week? Is it a year? Is it 2 years? Is freaking irrelevant, because in the grand scheme of your life, if I said this, nothing was going to happen for the next year. Nothing. You're just going to do practices and nothing is going to shift. Like, literally nothing. You just keep doing the practices. And at the end of that year, all these things will begin to shift. In other words, like a year of just no results, like nothing that you can even put your finger on. Would investing that much time in doing a practice for 1 year for the winning of all of these other things down the road would you do that kind of work? Just think about that. Like, would I invest a year of just doing practices to know that at the end of that year, like, all this stuff would begin to show to me and unlock, but during that entire year, nothing would happen? Now, that's obviously not how this stuff goes, but I'm just telling you, like, a year in the grand scheme of things is like that. What would the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years of your life look like if you were to dedicate a year of doing this work? It's unimaginable to you. And even the people that I mentioned, like Lisa, Natalie, and Alex, right? Like, everyone goes through, I go through struggles. But if you asked any of them, like, do you have more awareness? Have things shifted in your life? Other people's lives around you? Like, there's not a single person on here that'd be like, no. Because obviously things are always shifting. Just give yourself patience and give yourself grace to, like, go through these processes without constantly berating or judging or comparing and, like, it needs to be this or not. You don't just give up that you know at all what this is supposed to look like. And that will give you so much more freedom to just be in the practice for the sake of the practice. Yeah. I find the movements in life takes energy I feel I used to have. Because of this, I'm trying to motivate myself from the energy of exhaustion. This scares me, to know what I want and not feeling the energy or drive that has navigated me to great places over previous years. I don't know who that is. My solution or way of coping is to kind of sit with it and also feel incredibly grateful that the universe has been supporting me during the current phase, even though I don't understand it and don't have a solution. That's really beautiful. I'm not sure who that was. Let me see if I can jump into Facebook real quick. I don't know if that's someone that's worked with us a bunch before or not. Okay, I can't do that right now. Yeah, but that, they're really speaking to the energy behind the action, right? So it's like, if you're trying to get out of exhaustion with a energy of everything being exhausted or tired or whatever, you're just going to keep circling and looping that. So it takes, one thing that I've noticed time and time again, it's like the collective I'm throwing myself into this mix, is like, we have been programmed that we need to do this stuff on our own. And I'm telling you right now, that is the biggest load of bullshit. In fact, I will say that it's almost impossible for us to do this stuff on our own. And so if you find yourself doing this work on your own, I'm just going to let you know, like, it will only take you so far. Just being at the live event, right? Like just being and sitting in that energy of others, of Guy and I. Actually, let me throw up this link right now so you guys can just see it. Like, just sitting in that energy is going to be enough to create a shift. It's raising the hand and going, you know what? I want support. I'm a yes to receiving support. It doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. In fact, it takes a tremendous amount of courage to raise your hand and ask for support. When someone asks you for support, do you like get annoyed, or are you excited to provide them with support? Doesn't it feel good for you to actually be there for someone that you know actually needs it? And yet we suck at asking for help. Like it's gonna somehow demote us, or I don't even know what this half the crap that we make up is, right? Here at Old Souls and Seekers at Satori Prime, support is absolutely available to you. You just got to raise your hand and ask. And again, if you haven't taken action and you sit on the sidelines, like even if you've been to the events before, you know, you keep coming back, and what? Every time there's something new, right? Like a new shift, a new paradigm, a new experience, a new glimpse, because it's about sitting in the energy. You know, there's a huge difference between sitting in the energy once every 6 weeks for 2 days and sitting in the energy every single week with us and our team. There just is. You know, I don't know how else to slice it. Like, there's a big difference between our coaching programs and our live events, because you're just in it for more time, for a longer period of time. And if this energy resonates with you, it's like, just jump in. Like, you got nothing to lose. Susan says, I'm dealing with health issues and I'm afraid I can't physically show up, but I obviously haven't been able to heal this myself. Yeah. You know, there was a woman, Alexandra, who I think is on here with us as well. If you watch her testimonial, it's in our Facebook group, like in the Old Souls, just look up for the testimonial of Alexandra. Was crippled, like legit crippled, like couldn't move, couldn't do the things that she loved, sat with us for 2 days, and afterwards was like singing and dancing in her house. Guys, all of this stuff is intertwined and interconnected. All of it. You don't know how it's interconnected. And because you think that you somehow do, you keep looking for an answer on how to undo this thing. Where if you actually let this divine energy go and figure it out for you, it would be way better of a move. Susan, I don't know if you're planning on coming to the event or not, but physical healing is absolutely something that's available to you guys. By the way, I don't know if you guys can see this, but if you go to intuitivemind.live, you can still grab your ticket. And again, like I said, tickets will be off limits Wednesday. So tomorrow at midnight, we will shut it down and you will not be able to buy tickets anymore. So act now, act fast, go grab your tickets. Claire, curious, is your wife also doing similar work practices? She is not. She is not. She meditates and she has her own meditation practice. I realized a long time ago that I'm not going to have like a coach relationship with my wife or any of my loved ones, my kids, my parents, my brother. Like, we don't coach each other. I tried, big mistake. I don't do it. So yeah, she has her own practices. Obviously, I'm constantly sharing what I'm learning and what I'm doing, and she's open to that. And she takes what she takes, and she doesn't what she doesn't. And yeah, we each have our path. Um, Natalie had major magical shifts in only a week of quitting alcohol. Beautiful. And I know, Natalie, how hard that was for you to even get to that place. So I really, really want to acknowledge and honor you for that. Practice at least once a day and doing all the right things. It's weird and wonderful. Even took my first coaching call with a potential client. Amazing. Not been without troubles, but it flowed. Amazing. Wow, Natalie. So good. Um, oh, Jason, nice. Good to have you here, brother. Yes, I think I'm caught up. There's no way I would have tapped into some of these deeper, scared parts without your support. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to finally heal these little girl parts that have been controlling my life. Intuitive mind is the bee's knees, guys. Powerful energy. I was absolutely, oh, Alexander's here. Yep. I was absolutely healed during the event. So true. I'm another person now. Amazing. Yes. So yeah, that's on offer. Again, like, I know that support is difficult to ask and admit that you need and all that kind of stuff. I think that's why they say in AA, right? Like the first step is admitting that you have a problem. It's not even that admitting that you have a problem. It's just like there's such a beauty in leaning into someone that wants to hold you. It's profound. So yeah, I'm gonna end it with that and just again let you know that this Saturday, this Sunday, will be our last event of the entire year. So if you've been sitting on the fence trying to figure out yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, just do it. Again, if you don't love the program, you have a full money back guarantee. So there's really, really nothing for you to lose. If you have any questions whatsoever, you still want to ask or have a chat with someone about if it's the right fit, blah, 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 just type in the comment box, reach out to me, and one of our team members will absolutely be in communication, and they can even get on a quick 15-minute call with you, whatever you need, messenger, call, comments, chat. We're here to support you in any way we can. I hope to see as many of you on the live with us this weekend. And again, remember, tickets will stop going on sale tomorrow at midnight. So love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the beautiful questions. Thanks for those who shared their amazing experiences here with everyone. And I love you, and I will see you this weekend. Bye for now.